Imagine you're just a kid playing near a fence and the next thing you know, you've crossed into another country illegally. Sounds like a movie, right? Well, this just happened. In June 2025, a young boy accidentally crossed from the US into Canada through a revolving border gate, and the internet cannot stop talking about it.
Country. No, really, you are. You can't come back. Why would you do that?
So here's what went down. At a border crossing, likely in the Niagara region, there's a one-way revolving gate that's meant to allow travelers to exit the US and enter Canada on foot. This kid, maybe 10 or 11 years old, was apparently just playing near the gate. You know how kids are, curious, impulsive, and not exactly thinking about international law. He spun the revolving door, stepped through, and suddenly, without realizing it, he was in Canada, alone. Now the kicker, these gates are one way only. Once you're through, there's no turning back, literally. So the kid couldn't just spin around and walk back to the US side. According to sources, Canadian border officials quickly noticed what had happened and escorted the child to safety. His parents or guardians were likely contacted immediately, and thankfully no criminal charges were filed. It's being treated as a harmless, accidental crossing, which, let's be real, it was. But here's exactly what to do if you find yourself across the Canadian border unintentionally, and how to avoid legal trouble. Accidentally crossing the US-Canada border happens more often than you think, especially in rural areas, on the water, or along back roads without clear signage. But whether you're in a car, on a boat, or hiking, how you handle this situation matters. First, if you realize you've crossed the border without passing through an official port of entry, stop. Do not keep driving or attempt to turn around without instructions. You need to contact border officials immediately. In the US, that means Customs and Border Protection. In Canada, it's the Canada Border Services Agency. Stopping and reporting the situation yourself is far better than being caught trying to reverse course or sneak back in. Do not post about it on social media, and do not assume it's no big deal. Self-reporting can save you from serious fines or immigration consequences. Remain where you are until border agents advise you what to do. You may be asked to return to the nearest official crossing under escort or wait for an officer to arrive. Leaving without instruction can escalate the situation quickly. Also, be honest. If you crossed by accident, explain exactly what happened. For example, following GPS, missing signage, or drifting off course on the water. In most accidental crossing cases, you won't be arrested, but you could face questioning, a warning, or even a fine. If you're a non-citizen, it could impact your immigration record or entry eligibility, especially if you don't report it. If you hold a US visa or are a Canadian PR with legal status, border agents may review your documents, travel intent, and prior history. If you're undocumented or have past immigration issues, speak to an immigration attorney as soon as possible. Accidental crossings often happen in areas like the Vermont, Quebec, and North Dakota, Manitoba border zones. Lakes and rivers that span the borders like Lake Ontario or the St. Lawrence, unmarked back roads, trails, and snowmobile routes. Use updated GPS apps, zoom in on maps to look for boundary lines, and never assume it's fine just because there's no fence or booth. Stick to official border crossings and research any route that gets close to the international line. Crossing the US-Canada border without proper inspection is a serious matter, even when it's accidental. But if you stay calm, self-report, and follow instructions, most accidents can be resolved without major legal consequences. If you're unsure what your situation means for your visa or immigration status, or if you've already crossed and need legal guidance, contact us. Maimone Legal is here to help you handle it the right way. I'm Mena, the Pink Attorney. Subscribe for real immigration tips.